Hello everybody, welcome to the second round of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. I'm Chaz Draco.
I'm Louise Schofield, and it was quite a race one there, wasn't it, Chaz?
Yeah, it absolutely was, yeah. It's interesting here at the Slovakia ring. Sometimes the races can be quite single file, but in that one we had a good few overtakes in the middle of the pack and some good battles as well. There was an interesting moment towards the end of the race with Mark Taylor and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez as well, an overtake that was off camera, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can chat with Mark and see if I can catch up on something. I'm going to see if we can get the lowdown on that one for you, but we'll see how we go.
Absolutely, and big thanks to our cameraman Pearly, who's having to walk beautifully backwards down this pit lane at the moment while we make our way to the grid for race number 2 of the day. There's a slight delay at the moment because the grid isn't quite open yet, so we're having to just take our time and saunter down. And luckily, it's actually not as hot as it was before. The clouds have come over.
You've got a bit of a breeze now, so yeah, that's good. I don't mean the sun cream for this one. We'll be okay.
No,
so
we're all right. We're all right. So what we're going to be doing is having a look at the grid very, very shortly. We obviously had quite an interesting race one, but Norbert Kiss once again on top, and he seemed very happy about it.
Absolutely, the first champagne shake of the weekend, which is nice. But yeah, he seemed really pleased when I had a chat to him at the end there, and seems really chuffed and ready for race 2 as well. So absolutely. But we are going to go in now to check out the highlights from race 1. There we go. Okay, so we are walking onto the grid right now. We have had a little bit of a delay there, haven't we? But we're taking a lovely stroll. It's quiet. We've had it all weekend, I think, isn't it, right now?
Yeah, as you can see,
the storm.
There is literally nothing on this massive start-finish straight.
Absolutely.
It is colossal, this place. I've spent 5 years commentating on this circuit from home and just seeing the shot. And I mean, all we've got right now is the beautiful Iveco SE-Way pace truck on the grid. It's the official pace truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It is a fully electric machine. It is absolutely gorgeous. And as I was saying during that first race, Louise, the current trucks are based on the previous Iveco S-Way shape, but it'll be interesting to see how they get updated with this new design, won't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. You've told me about the front as well on the trucks as well, and how they kind of differ in the way they look as well. But yeah, it's we tried to get we wanted to get a little ride in it earlier, didn't we? We were like, if we come down early, we'll get a ride in the pace trucks, then we can get there. But yeah, absolutely. But no, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be an interesting race too.
We just need some trucks, to be honest. That's all we need. I mean, we've got René Reinert on pole position, which is important because he, let's not forget, started the day with a gearbox failure.
Yes, that's it. And of course, Bradley also had a few problems as well earlier on. And it's one of those things, isn't it? It kind of it's unpredictable, and you know it happens, motorsport. And that is motorsport. That it happens, and you know you just have to kind of go with it. But it's a shame because it's disheartening, isn't it, when you're in your element and then something like that happens. It's such a shame. It's such a shame.
It really is, and I mean, considering that we spent Friday going around the circuit with Bradley, you know, you do become attached to certain drivers. We try and hide any sort of British bias, obviously, but yeah, it's so lovely because somebody as lovely as Bradley, you know, he's such a kind spirit, he's such a great lad, but then for something like that to happen, you really feel feel for them.
You do. My heart sinks every time, and every time I have to chat to a driver and something's happened to their truck, I do feel absolutely awful, because it can be the make or break between where you finish, isn't it, and things like that. So it's such a shame.
And obviously, it's a difficult part of the job, isn't it? Having to get the emotion out of somebody that's just had their race ruined by something that's not their fault, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Like a little, just like collide, and then it kind of ruins everything. But but no, it's hopefully this will be a clean run for everyone, hopefully for race 2, because that's what you'd hope to end the weekend. It would be nice that there's no problems for anyone, hopefully not.
And I can happily say that Bradley Smith's gearbox has been fixed for this race as well. There was a massive job earlier on going on in the paddock, and as I said, we often get other teams helping out. That's part of the One Truck family mantra, that whenever a team has a problem like a gearbox break or even just the tiniest little part, it's not always the weekend done for. It's not always over. You often get, we had 7 teams helping Antonio Albacete a few years ago, 9 of them with Steffi Halm, and just to make sure the grid is still full, and that's what it's all about.
That is exactly it. And I think there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. Obviously, of course, this is my first time here at the European Truck Racing Championship, so I'm learning all the different roles and people. There's just so much that goes into it, isn't there?
Yeah, there really is. There's so many wonderful people behind the scenes here, and it's always good to see what they have to offer and sort of how they enjoy their time in the team. That scared the life out of me. It's the loudest siren in the world.
Absolutely.
And again, it's something I've heard for 5 years from home and thinking, it's not that loud. Now when you stood here, that's really scary. It's so loud.
We're so used to the loud noises as well, aren't we? But it still catches you off guard. It absolutely does.
It really does. I can hear a distant rumbling. Can you hear that?
Yes, I can hear it. Oh.
You can hear the ground shaking a little bit. That means that there's trucks moving. The trucks are making their way. Yeah, they are heading around. I think they're going to come behind us. John Newell is first.
Hey, there we go.
Which is quite fitting, actually, because in a few moments' time, we're going to show you when we spoke to John's team. But the trucks make their way out of the end of the paddock. They come all the way down the pit lane with a serenading of whistles.
Serenading of whistles is a beautiful term. There he is, John Newell. Popping down.
Championship leader in Chrome now as well, which he'll be really pleased about.
Absolutely fantastic.
He took the lead of the championship in that last race. He now has 4 podiums this season, if I'm right, and he's not won a race in class yet, but he's still ahead of the likes of Bradley Smith, Mark Taylor, Stefan Kirsch, drivers that have all won in the Chrome class. So he's going to be feeling quite confident, because when you last spoke to him, he wasn't, was he?
No, he didn't have the qualifying didn't quite go to plan for John. But it's really nice talking to him, because he was just like, last year it went really great here at the Slovakia ring. This year, not so much. And I think that is the beauty of it. It's a little bit of a roulette, isn't it? It could go great one year, the next year things change. The climate changes, everything changes. You never know. It takes that one thing, and especially if you're going a brand new truck as well. Because some of these drivers have got brand new trucks, and how they fare on different circuits can obviously change, I suppose.
I've just noticed that you're on that screen over there.
I am. I'm on the big screen, baby. I've made it, Mum.
I'm also very jealous that you got to see the air display that went on here earlier on.
That was fantastic. I was memorised.
For the 2 times that Louise and I have met each other, all I've done is bore her to death with aviation talk back in the airports of all this airlines flying to here and so on. But it's great to see that there's more of an event to this than just the trucks. And as we said at Mizana, really.
There is, absolutely. And we have the pleasure of getting to talk to everyone behind the scenes, and we actually had a chat with John Newell's team. Here's a little clip about what they got up to. Louise Govan here at the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship right here in Slovakia. Now, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, so I thought we could find out a little bit more from John Newell's team. So introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Hi, I'm Terry Gibbon, and I'm an engineer for the John Newell's truck, and I look after mainly the setup and oversee all of the technical side of the truck.
Hi, my name is Rafał Goździk. I'm a mechanic. I'm keeping truck running on performance.
Hi, my name is Mateusz Schuściel. I am a mechanic.
Hi, my name is Matty Crow. I'm a mechanic, and I concentrate on brakes and tyres.
I'm John Newell, and I'm the steering wheel attendant.
And I'm Chaz Draycott here at the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Thank you very much for your time, guys, and we wish you all a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.
There we go. That's a little short insight into here we go. Can you hear the beeping? It's getting, the horns are going. The horns are going. The trucks are coming, guys. They are. We've got a very empty grid right now, but they are on their way. But as we had a chat there with John Newell's team, it's absolutely lovely to see how much goes into this. And I think what the lovely thing about the paddock is, when we get to chat to these teams, there's so much camaraderie and there's great banter. And I just think there's just a lovely vibe that goes on. And I think that's what's really nice. And everyone has a very specific role that they need to fill and a very specific thing that they kind of do. So it's really nice to see that behind the scenes as well. Here we go. We're getting started now. It is coming in. It is coming in. It's we're going to get this a full grid very shortly, I think. So we'll be ready. I know you're all raring to see how race 2 pans out, and that will be very, very soon. So, but I will be back in just a mo. Make sure you stick with us. Here we go, the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. I'm Louise Schofield here on the grid right now. Now, there isn't an awful lot going on at the moment. We are waiting for the trucks to arrive, ready for race 2. But I'll hand you over to Chaz, who will start to get you excited and hyped for race 2.
Hello everybody, Chaz Draycott here with the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship in a different location for this time round, and let me tell you, it's nice and snug at the moment here. I am, for the second time in my career, sat in the back of a car while I commentate. I did this once at the Hungaroring in 2022. It's not something I became particularly known for, but I am now once again commentating from the backseat of a car in lovely air conditioning, it must be said, actually. If I could mention the car brand without getting in trouble, then I would, but it's got fantastic air conditioning, I can tell you that much. Huge thanks to the guys from Vega for setting me up with all of that and having me cooked up in here, to say the least. But as you can see, there are trucks now making their way to the grid, and the drivers and the teams, I'm sure, will be there very, very shortly, and everybody will be ready to crack on with race number 2 of the weekend. We have had a slight delay, apparently a 6-minute delay for the pit exit to open, which is why it's taken time for the trucks to head round. So apologies for that, but as me and Louise just said on the grid, this is motorsport. This is what happens sometimes. It's not always on time. It's not always perfect, but that's what you've got to love about these things, right? I'm not sure if it's our music in the car or whether somebody else has turned some music on outside of the car, because we have some rather noisy neighbours here in the garages next to us in the Slovakia ring. But if it is from the car, I'd love it if anybody from Vega could hear me and actually come and turn it off. We're trying our best here, everybody, and I can tell you it's been an interesting weekend so far. It's been very versatile. But you see these lovely shots of the pace truck at the front of the grid. And you have Mark Taylor over on the right-hand side of the grid there. He'll be starting from the left-hand side. Speaking of Mark Taylor, actually, we're going to just nip down there now, and Louise is going to speak to Mark, I believe, about how his day is going, because it's been an interesting one for him so far.
Mark, how you doing? How has your day gone so far?
Yeah, it's been good. We had a good qualifying this morning, what put us good for the first race. The first race was brilliant, we held his own, kept it where we needed to be, and hopefully same result for race 2.
Absolutely. You had a little altercation with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez as well. What happened there?
As we were coming down on the final lap, the last corner had a slight lock up, so it sent me a little bit wide and it gave him the chance to just get me on the inside.
Oh, damn. How are you feeling about race 2? Are you confident?
Just take it as it comes, as we always do.
Yeah.
So see how we go off front line and just slot in somewhere in the position and just finish the race.
Good luck, Mark. We've got you. Thank you very much. There we go. A little bit of an insight there into what happened. Chaz, right back to you.
Thank you, Louise. Yeah, it certainly looked like there'd been a little bit of contact or something, because there was a bit of damage on the front left of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's truck. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to see the right rear of Mark's truck, but yeah, he's still going to be happy with the fact that they're right near the front of the order. And like he said, it's a case of just take it as it comes. You have to treat each race one by one. This is how the grid is going to look then. It's René Reinert on pole position with Steffi Halm in second place on the front row. Either of them could take a race victory here. Same with Antonio Albacete. Mark Taylor next up in fourth place. As mentioned, he's ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, but Jose overtook him towards the end of that race. Sascha Lenz will start from sixth on the grid, with Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kisch side by side on the fourth row after having a pretty good scrap in that first race. John Newell and Stefan Fass will be starting from where they finished in the previous race, and the rest of the grid will follow on as well. They will all have the same order: Louis Requenco, Clemens Hecker, Luke Garrett and Bradley Smith. From what I remember, we should be having Bradley Smith back on the grid, but Bradley will be, I'm sure, grateful to have a new gearbox in the truck. I wasn't sure whether it was actually another team's gearbox or not. I haven't found that information out yet. Let's have a look at the track layout here at the Slovakia ring, shall we? It's a fantastic racing circuit, and I'm not just biased in saying that because I went around it on Friday in a truck, but it's a really, really cool racetrack. 6 kilometres in length, 14 corners, and it's 25 degrees here at the moment, so pretty good temperatures, but we are using the longest layout on this circuit that we possibly can. So we've got all of the layout included here. We very often have series running a shorter layout, a more sort of compressed layout, either all the way around the outside or only on the infield. But here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, we are using as much of it as possible. We're getting our money's worth, that's safe to say. There is number 77, René Reinert. The number 77 sticker clean on the very clean windscreen, as the team are making sure he has full visibility of all the clear space in front of him. Definitely doesn't upset me that they haven't stuck the white outline on around the outside of the number 77 on the windscreen, but that's just because I'm a humongous nerd. There was a decision from the FIA, and I've just had it confirmed actually as well. Bradley Smith, thank you very much to Melanie Derflinger, by the way, Tim's wife at T-Sport Burnau, and she is the boss really, let's face it. She's let me know that Bradley had a new gearbox from Luke Garrett, which, once again, that one truck family mantra coming very true. And I'm told that with the lovely blue machine of René Reinert, we have the lovely Louise. She's going to do an interview for us and speak to René.
Okay, René, how are you feeling? Race 2?
Good feeling.
Good feeling. Yeah.
Pole position.
Pole position, there we go, yeah. Not bad, eh? Not bad, eh? How do you find the Slovakia ring compared to Misano? What kind of challenges do you face here?
A little bit different, the course, it's much more longer here, and long straights, and more meters also the track, so it's a little bit different, but also sometimes tricky, They have some corners, it's not so easy, and especially also with the hot temperatures again. Yes. Like in Misano, it's not so hot like Sunday, but tomorrow will be warmer again, so it's all the time the tires in this hot temperatures is not easy to handle, during the race.
Definitely, and it has cooled down a little bit, so do you think that's going to be a good advantage right now?
If you stay in front, it should be an advantage, because if you are in the pack, it's also the tires on the whole truck getting not so much air, you have to find all the time a way that you get fresh air. Yeah. So it is an advantage if you stay in the front, but it's also pressure, you have to have a good start. Absolutely, this is very important, and I hope the technique will be okay, because we had in the free practice in the morning, we had the issue with our gearbox. Yeah. And at the first start, I had a little bit, was not so perfect. The start was a little bit, the clutch was not working well. So, and I really hope now that at the start will be better and it will be perfect again. Absolutely.
Fingers crossed. You are in pole position, so fingers crossed for you, René. Hope it's a good race for you. Thank you very much. There we go. A little insight into there for you. All right, Charles, I'll hit back to you to get us ready.
Thank you, Louise. Thank you very much. Always good to hear from René. That's a good pose, isn't it? That is a very good pose in front of René Reinert's machine. Lovely to see that. The fans certainly enjoying themselves out here at the Slovakia ring. It's always great to see how many fans we get here at this lovely, lovely racetrack. And I'm super excited to see how this second race goes. The reverse grid is certainly an interesting one because it's hard to overtake round here. And I know that the drivers really do try their best to get it nailed in the braking zones, but because a lot of the corners are so long and winding, such huge radius corners, it's very difficult to adjust and get every single one of them right time and time again. But we are waiting now to see the final few minute boards get raised into the air, and then we will get this race underway. But I'm intrigued by row 4. Norbert Kish alongside Jochen Hahn, the top 2 from that previous race. John Newell alongside Stefan Fass on row 5. Antonio Albacete will be looking for a little bit more from this race. I was just checking the previous results. In fact, I have the app that they use here. We have a lovely app where we can get all of the decisions and the official results and so on. But with Antonio starting this one on the second row of the grid, he's definitely in with a shout. But yeah, that first race, he just didn't seem to have the pace to get ahead of the drivers in front. He was always waiting in the wings, watching the fight between Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Mark Taylor. But in the end, it just didn't quite work for him. The only penalty we had in the first race was Stefan Fass. He got a 5-second time penalty for overspeeding. I was just double checking that there were no penalties, no further contact or anything later on. Just having a quick look then at the lap times from that previous race, and they were definitely not the most ideal. Like Norbert Kish said, it was quite slippy out there, so with a lot of the grip and the balance of the truck not quite being right, he was really struggling to get it dialed in, especially later on in the race. So we'll see what we can do. What about Antonio? I just mentioned him a moment ago, and luckily for me, Louise has managed to make her way down there. Good stuff. Let's speak to Louise.
Hey, there you go, the power of TV. Hey, here we are. Antonio, how you doing? How you feeling about this race?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, start third, so I will try to see if I can do some positions, but I think it's going to be a good fight, you know. I mean, all of us are very equal, and let's hope that Kish doesn't arrive very early, you know, and we can fight together.
There you go. You're going to keep an eye, I see, aren't you? There we go.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you.
Antonio, best of luck. Thank you very much. There we go. He's keeping an eye on that Norbert Kish as our Antonio. Chaz, back to you.
Thank you, Louise. Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody in the championship knows just how good Norby is, and it's lovely to hear that because it's from a good sportsmanship perspective. But yeah, it's the fact that they know rather than looking forward at the drivers that they're chasing down, they have to go chasing the rearview mirror and keeping an eye on Norbert Kish making his way through. He's so good at overtaking, and he's really good at setting it up here at the Slovakia ring. So it's definitely a good hunting ground for him. And we know that he is going to be piling on the pressure and moving forward. There's one of the Team Schwaben truck mechanics, Steffi Halm's truck. Steffi starting right near the front of the order. And she will be, again, one driver to keep an eye on. But she could potentially be a race winner. She hasn't won a race yet this season, but yeah, she's had some fantastic results to start her campaign off, and she'll be hoping for more of the same. There's the 3-minute board being raised and the siren going on. I tell you, that siren is very loud when you're on the grid. It really did scare the scare the life out of me. And now it's scared the life out of everyone because they are making their way off the grid. It's certainly a good way to make sure that everyone is clear of the grid. We'll have the 3-minute board and then the 1-minute board, followed by the 30-second board. And then we will have the pace lap from the official pace truck of the championship. All of the personnel there from T-Sport Bernau making their way off the grid. There's Andre Kurzim as well, and Tony Albacete, Antonio's son. And a thumbs up from some of the team members. Tim Frost making his way off the grid there. There's Csaba Bako from Reves Racing. Csaba, somebody I spoke to earlier on in the weekend. Like I say, we'll have a clip of that coming up for you in a broadcast very soon, potentially tomorrow. But the conditions are slightly different now. It's nowhere near as hot as it was. The sun is definitely shining once again down on the grid here. But there was a little bit of cloud in the air earlier on. It certainly made things a slight bit cooler. So whether the track gets any cooler, we'll have to wait and see. Could make life a little bit easier for all the drivers and teams, because it'll mean that the tyres don't deteriorate quite as quickly. Especially around here, which is a circuit that's quite the tyre killer either way. And there is the 1 minute board being raised at the front of the grid. And again, the member of staff sprinting off the grid. But now I know that she's going towards the gantry. And she's going to head up there and prepare to wave the flags. The Iveco S-E-Way will lead us away, the official pace truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. As Louise and I were looking around it before, you could see some of the wonderful details of the shape of the grills, the headlights, the bodywork. It's all made to be as aerodynamic as possible for something that's a humongous square. At the end of the day, we understand even at this point that trucks are not the most aerodynamic, efficient machines in the world. But that's part of the challenges of truck racing. We have to have these absolute Goliaths on the racetrack and really refine them as best they can. But now we have our pace lap. And as you see, the Iveco S-E-Way 100% electric pace truck, the official pace truck of the championship. And we will very soon get our grid. But as you see on the left-hand side of your shot, René Reinert will start on pole position. Second place will be Steffi Halm on the front row of the grid alongside him in the Iveco. Lovely drone shots again this weekend. Certainly does look fantastic. It's great to have these additional angles to have a good look at. There you go, René Reinert and Steffi Halm on the front row of the grid. Row number 2 will be Antonio Albacete and Mark Taylor, hoping to move forward, I imagine. Maybe even just stay inside the top 5, because he's had a really good run of points so far. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is next up with Sasha Lenz in 6th position. 7th place will be second place finisher from the first race, Jochen Hahn. And then Norbert Kisch starting in 8th place after winning the first race earlier today. John Newell next up, 9th position for John. Stefan Faas in 10th place, 3rd in chrome. Can they both go for more chrome podiums? Louis Requenco next up in 11th, with Clemens Hecker starting alongside him. It's been a quiet start to the season for Clemens and a quiet start to the day for Louis. Luke Garrett, bless him, has handed one of his spare gearboxes to Bradley Smith, who joins him on that row of the grid. I'm not sure if he'll be expecting Bradley to stay behind him and repay the favour for the rest of the race. But again, it's great to see the one truck family mantra coming back together and seeing the friendly side of things and the competitive edge just ignored when they're off track. Because having that spare gearbox, you know, like Bradley said, they didn't have another gearbox, so it's great that Luke and the team have passed theirs over. I love to see these fantastic drone shots floating around all over the circuit. Because it's so flat as well here in Slovakia, you're able to just get such a wide view of everything and so easily access it with a drone. Look at that, what a fantastic shot. It's like the sort of shot that you'd only really see in a video game or something. Now, I'm sorry to say that Bradley Smith is not on the grid. I did wonder, I did think I missed him earlier on when they were heading out. I'm just having a quick look because we very often get a decision made by the stewards to say that Bradley Smith, and they requested the neutralisation of Parc Fermé. The stewards approved the request and they allowed the competitor to start from race 2 from the back of the grid. So I'm intrigued to see whether Bradley's actually going to be there or whether he will be starting from the pit lane, but it didn't look like he was there just a moment ago. Unfortunately, from where I am, even in the back of this car, from where I am in the paddock, I can't quite see Bradley's awning. Some bloke called Mark Taylor has parked his truck in the way, unfortunately. There you can hear the air horns and the cheers for Norbert Kish. And all of the trucks, hopefully, making their way around. But Norby has so many fans here. He's got such fantastic support from everyone. And as we mentioned, it's almost like a home race, this one, for Norbert and the team. And now the drivers will make their way around the final corner behind the Iveco S E-Way, the official pace truck. And the pace truck peels off. And now it's up to René Reinert to determine the pace. He will move over to the right-hand side of the grid. They have to really spread out. There is his chief engineer, ready to shout the command when the lights go out. And now the race is underway here at Slovakia Ring. For the second time this weekend, the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship roars into life. And it's Steffi Halm and René Reinert side by side down towards turn 1. Looks like Antonio Albacete had a good start. He's having a look down the inside of René as well, but it doesn't work. Steffi carrying some good speed around the outside. Can she take the race lead here? We've seen it happen before on the first lap, that the driver starting on the outside is able to take the lead early on, but no. Looks like René Reinert using that inside line has got a good enough run. We saw John Newell move over to the left there, trying to sit behind Norbert Kish. As they head down towards turn 2 for the first time, Mark Taylor tucks in behind Antonio Albacete. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is side by side with Sasha Lenz. And Jochen Hahn has Norbert Kish on his outside. Very close stuff. And René now defending the inside line as they head into turn number 3. There's a little bit of a shimmy and a little bit of a knock here and there. Couple of drivers making contact on the inside line. Nobody pushed too far wide. Norbert Kish round the outside of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. He's got nowhere to go though, because Sasha Lenz is in the mix as well. And he's sort of blocked in as Sasha kicks up the dust on the outside. Mark Taylor goes through, sort of regains that position effectively. As more dust gets kicked up, it must be so terrifying driving through that, not knowing what's on the other end of it. But René Reinert has held the lead very importantly here this evening. I say this evening because it is nearly 6 o'clock at night here in the Slovakia Ring. Second place, Steffi Halm. Third place, Antonio Albacete. Sasha Lenz in 4th. Then it's Mark Taylor in 5th position. 6th place at the moment, Norbert Kish. He's moved up a position or 2 already. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez dropping down. Jochen Hahn moving up to 7th and then back down to 8th. Sasha Lenz looks like he's having to defend straight away, and so too is René Reinert. He's got the Iveco of Steffi Halm, then the MAN of Antonio Albacete right behind him. The top 3 moving slowly away from Mark Taylor. Norbert Kish has already got past Sasha Lenz. He's already up into 5th position. In fact, Lenz has lost 2 places, one to Mark Taylor and one to Norby. That's why there's a bit of a gap forming there. So yeah, they weren't able to hold the position there with Sasha. Now down into the penultimate corner, into turn 13 one more time. And it is Steffi Halm's second, the first driver to be able to launch any form of attack on René Reinert. Norbert Kish going very well up into 5th place already, and now you can see them spread out down the start-finish straight to ensure that they do not get loads of hot air into the front of the truck. Because of the additional screens I've got at the moment, I can tell you that I've got a shot of Bradley Smith's truck still in the paddock from Mark, our cameraman. Unfortunately, Bradley still having that gearbox changed and wasn't able to get out for the race on time, so he'll be back with us tomorrow and hopefully back at full fighting speed. There is the shot of Bradley's truck. You can see the back of it up on the chocks, so to speak. And hopefully we'll get Bradley back out there with us tomorrow for the next race. René Reinert currently leading the way still from Steffi Halm, but he's very much under pressure here with Antonio Albacete behind in 3rd. Then it's Mark Taylor still holding off Norbert Kish for the time being. And Sasha Lenz running in 6th place. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez in 7th. Jochen Hahn currently running in 8th. He hasn't been able to displace Jose Eduardo Rodriguez just yet. In fact, Jose Eduardo is all over the back of Sasha Lenz. Look at that as they burst through the dust there. What a fantastic shot that is. Beautiful to see. But right now, well, they are stuck together like a one-truck family. In fact, we do have the documentary available on YouTube now. If you scan the QR code, you'll be able to watch that. If you get a spare hour of your day, it's definitely worth a watch, unless you don't like my voice. Norbert Kish has made it through on Mark Taylor on lap number 2. He's made his way down the inside on the exit of turn number 8 through turn 9, and the dust cloud they go. You can see 4 of them stuck together there. Norby now onto the brakes, nice and tidy. Mark Taylor and Sasha Lenz very close together behind him, but just in front actually, Antonio Albacete all over the back of Steffi Halm, trying to make up some ground. Like I said in that first race, Antonio definitely had some pace, but just wasn't ever enough to get past the trucks in front of him, and it seems like he's at a bit of an early stalemate at this point as well. René on the outside line going into turn 13. So many of them close together here. In fact, the whole top 7 right together. Stefan Faas is just a bit further back there. It looks like Jochen Hahn has had a drama. Jochen is dropping down the order. Not quite sure if it was him kicking up some dust or having a moment, but Jochen Hahn has dropped down into 13th position and right to the back of the field. I did wonder where Jochen had gone, because Jose Eduardo Rodriguez was in 7th earlier, but Stefan Faas was definitely not battling over 8th place with John Newell. It was over 9th and 10th, so Jochen has had a drama somewhere and dropped right down, which is a huge shame. It seems like he's still going at full pace, but he must have had an off in the middle sector somewhere and made a mistake. Easily done here at the Slovakia ring though. The momentum of this circuit is so important. But René Reinert continues to lead at the moment. Last season he won a couple of races from reverse grid pole position. Could it be the same again here at the Slovakia ring here this afternoon? Like I said, it's not quite evening just yet. As they head into turn 3 once again. Very close to one another. There's a huge train of them all in one big streak. There's another dust cloud. You got a quick example there of the aerodynamics behind these trucks. As Antonio went through the dust cloud, you see how much of it sort of lingers in the air behind the cab. There's not really a massive amount of airflow from behind the cab, so sometimes if you get any smoke, steam even from the brakes or any dust, it just sort of sits in this no man's land of air behind the cab and above the engine. Eventually, when moving at speed, of course, it will dissipate, but it's, yeah, always sort of floating in a bit of a whirlwind behind the cab. Whole top 7 still quite close together. It's almost like a 007 smoke screen there from René Reinert trying to disturb the drivers behind him. And Steffi Halm goes one way then the other. Antonio Albacete wants a piece of this, but they all have to be careful because Norbert Kish will happily take advantage of all of this. We're only on lap 3 out of 8 here, so we're not even halfway through this race yet. Still plenty to be done, plenty to be seen, and plenty to be spoken about. Mark Taylor holding on ahead of Sasha Lenz and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. But Rene holds the truck in the middle of the road. Look at Antonio there being defensive. He moved over to the right as they went over the crest of the hill, saying to Norby, you know, don't you dare, don't you try it. It's pairs of them at the moment. Rene and Steffi right together. Antonio and Norby right together as well. What a lovely shot as they come back down the start. Finish straight, everybody fanning out left and right. In fact, Antonio sits right behind Rene, which is quite interesting. He doesn't decide to go left or right from wherever Rene is moving. As long as he's not getting the air from Steffi's truck, I suppose he's okay. Back into single file for turn 1, and on the brakes they go. Interesting race so far, though. There's not been a lot of overtaking, but what we have seen has been clean, of course, because it runs on 100% renewable HVO diesel, as do all of our race trucks. You won't see any big black clouds or anything here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. You will only see clean and environmentally friendly racing. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez moves to the right-hand side of Sasha Lenz. I do that a lot. Sorry, Sasha. No, sorry, Stefan. Onto the brakes they go into turn 3. This time, Jose Eduardo not making the move just yet. Sasha runs a little bit wide, but nothing doing just there. Let's have a look at Antonio through this left-hander into the right-hander now at turn 5. Long turn 5, and then they get hard on the brakes and try and tuck it in into turn 6. Look how difficult it is around there. Norbert Kiss tries to get the run. Now watch this. He'll try and get a really good run through here. Watch the 4th truck in the queue, the big red MAN. He'll try and run a little bit wider out of turn 6 into 7. He'll go on the brakes into turn 8. No, he's not doing it this time round. He usually sets up a lovely move. He's gone deep into turn 8 though, to try and get the run off the corner. They've got such great traction in Baloo Jr. in the big number 1 machine. But at the moment it's remaining quite stable inside the top few positions, but once again it's like deja vu. Steffi Halm goes left and then right into the hairpin, forces Rene Reinert to go defensive. Norbert Kiss almost makes contact with the back of Antonio Albacete. They continue on for another lap in the same order that they've been in all along. Looks like Steffi's got a good run there out of turn 12. And as they head up over the top of the hill, I think she just gets enough of a run, but obviously when they get to 100 miles an hour it counts for nothing, because once you've got a good run and you get to that speed, you can't exceed 100 miles an hour. All the trucks are governed to that speed. There was a little bit of dust kicked up there, maybe a lock-up or two as they head into that penultimate corner. Mark Taylor still holding on ahead of Sasha Lenz at the moment as well. And the top 4 separated by just over a second as we reach the halfway point of the race. On to lap number 5 of 8. And at the moment it looks like nobody is able to get past anybody. They're all in a bit of a stalemate. Norbert Kiss definitely knocking on the door to get past Antonio Albacete. He moves to the right hand side as they leave turn 1, but I don't think he's going to be able to get enough of a run down towards turn 2. No, he concedes and pulls back in behind the number 23 T-Sport burnout machine. There's Jose Eduardo Rodriguez behind Sasha Lenz. Stefan Fast currently on for 8th position and what would be 2nd in chrome, I believe, ahead of John Newell. And Jochen Hahn has come into the pits. Jochen Hahn moves to the top of the timing screen just because he's re-triggered the timing line as Norbert Kiss tries one way then the other. But Jochen Hahn, 2nd in the championship, hoping to try and close a gap on Norbert Kiss, is not going to get chance to in this 2nd race of the day. He goes through the pit lane, and whether he stays in the pit lane remains to be seen. Hopefully we can have a look and see what the situation is. But we've got the battle on screen now between Norbert Kiss and Antonio Albacete. Norby goes left and then right. Is he going to do it on the brakes here? Goes down the inside into turn 8, a little bit of contact, a lock up from Antonio. Antonio wants to close the door, but the door is opened. There's a bit of damage on the front of Norby's truck. The bumper has been affected there, but he gets a great run out of turn 8, despite being on the inside line. What a fantastic bit of driving by the two of them. He judged it very, very closely. Just clipped the rear bumper bar of the number 23 T-Sport Burnout truck. Let's not forget, the two of them used to be teammates a few seasons ago. Norby is late on the brakes into turn 10, making sure that he gets it stopped as late as possible to not have Antonio come back at him down the inside. It looks to me like Jochen Hahn has come into the pits and then maybe gone straight back to the paddock, because there's no sign of him in the pit lane by the look of it. That is a big, big shame. And thank you very much to our cameraman Pearly. I can see all the way down the pit lane. It may not be live on camera for all of you guys at home, but I can tell you he's just shown me a shot of the entire pit lane, and he's not there, is Jochen Hahn. So maybe straight back to the paddock. We'll have to see. The race continues on. There is the shot of the pit lane. As you can see, it is barren of Ivecos. But at the moment, it's René Reinert continuing to lead. We're on lap number 6 of 8 here, so there's not all the time in the world left for Norbert Kish to get back to the front. There's air horns aplenty being sounded down the start-finish straight. René Reinert then looking good at the moment, but it depends. If Norby can get past Steffi quite quickly, how quickly can Norby then get past his teammate René? They're in very similar machines, but René Reinert driving Norbert Kish's old truck, Baloo as it was known. Baloo Jr. is the truck of Norby right now. Just having a quick look around, sorry, just to see if I can spot Jochen Hahn anywhere, but not quite sure what the technical issue is with his truck. As down the inside already is Norbert Kish on Steffi Helm. He's really managed to make hay while the sun doesn't quite shine. And can he make this work into turn 6? He's on the outside for turn 4. Now through the right-hander at turn 5. You can see a little bit of bodywork flick off the truck there as he leant on the right-hand side. And there, into turn 6. Norbert Kish makes it up into second position. The only other truck in front of him now is his teammate, René Reinert, in the matching MAN. Now, we've heard of red versus blue before, I'm sure, but yeah, red versus blue on this occasion, a very different kettle of fish. As, oh, dearie me, big contact and bodywork missing on Sasha Lenz's truck, I believe that is. Contact with Mark Taylor. Not sure if it was Sasha down the inside of Mark or what, but Mark was definitely on the outside when they came into shot. Big bit of contact there. And luckily these trucks are hard as nails, so they can carry on. Into the hairpin they go once more. Look at the way Norbert Kish's machine handles. It's such a stable platform underneath him. It gives him exactly what he wants. And that incident that we just saw there between Mark Taylor and Sasha Lenz has been noted by race control. So they will be looking into that. Now, they may have had a little disagreement there and a bit of contact, but don't forget, we are all part of the one truck family. And you can see the documentary on YouTube. There was a QR code just on screen. You go and look at that, and you'll be able to go and watch the wonderful hour-long documentary that we have produced. Now, it is worth mentioning as well, and it's a good point raised by Richard Rogers, who is, as always, helping me out from behind the scenes, that Jochen Hahn did say he thought that he had an engine issue in the end of race number 1. Seems like that may have come back to haunt him here in race number 2. Now, the incident between Mark Taylor and Sasha Lenz is now under review by the FIA. So they'll be looking into the what's, the whys, the who's, the where's, the when. All of the details to do with that bit of contact, and see if there was anybody particularly at fault and whether a penalty needs to be applied. Looked like Norbert Kish was ready to go down the inside of René Reinert. No, never mind. He says he's going to go around the outside. He's going to try to get a cutback on the exit here as they leave turn 3 and head towards turn 4. René moves over to the right, says no thank you, Norby. This may be your old truck, but you don't get to look at that much of it. I'd rather you look at the back of it, not the front. And he's going to continue to do so as they head into turn 6. Norby tries to slide around the outside. Look at how well he can brake through there. Just looks so calm and confident, doesn't he? We're on lap 7 out of 8 here. There's only one more lap to go, but watch Norby now. He'll cut to the inside here on René Reinert. He'll try and go later on the brakes. No, his teammate blocks him off. Says no thank you. You can continue to look at the back of this truck and ask yourself why you sold it to me. But now look at the run on the exit from Norby. He's got so much traction on the exit of the corners. Just the way that truck behaves itself is just fantastic. The two of them absolutely stuck to one another. But down into turn 10, looks like René's got a bit deep. Closes the gap on Norbert Kish. It's very, very close stuff. As they head over the crest into the penultimate corners, it is still very much game on. René dipping a wheel onto the dust on the outside. Look at the colour of his rear tyres, covered in dust. And right now the scrap is on with one more lap to go. It's René Reinert, Norbert Kish leading the way. Steffi Halm in 3rd place, hoping for a podium. Antonio Albacete in 4th. Mark Taylor currently in 5th place, but he's leading in the Chrome class, and he's on for another Chrome win, and that may take him into the championship lead. Unfortunately, I don't have my nerdy spreadsheet with me in this new commentary position in the backseat of a car, so I will I'll have to confirm that for you later, obviously with the graphics from the championship. I should trust those guys anyway. I do. I love them really. But I like to fill it in for myself as well. You know how it is. But Mark is leading this race in the Chrome class, and he's hoping to be leading the Chrome Championship after this, with support from Isis and Marine, who have messaged me sending their support today. Good friends of mine and very good friends of Mark and his team. But look at that by Norbert Kish. Wow, millimetre perfect around the outside into turn 3. Tries to carry enough momentum to get the job done, but no, he just glanced the rear bumper of René Reinert there. That was amazingly close, but the fiberglass bodywork and the bumper bars are designed to inherit and sort of resist a lot of the, no, not resist, soak up a lot of the energy. As again around the outside, if Norbert makes that stick round turn 6, that will be unbelievable. But that's the confidence, that's the grip that he has. He's going to be on the inside through turn 7, surely. No, he wasn't able to keep the overlap. Now Steffi Halm might be on the attack. He defends the inside line though, holds it really well. Now he just needs to be careful. Steffi is under attack from Antonio Albacete here, so for the podium positions, it's definitely not over. Look at that, we've got 8 trucks for the lead at the minute. All of them absolutely together. What a fantastic race too we are having. René Reinert seemed really confident, really happy from the front of the grid. It looks like he's going to see this through, and he's going to take the race victory, unless there is one big lunge by Norbert Kish at the end of this race. He's taken 4 race victories so far this season. He very often does a clean sweep here in Slovakia Ring. In fact, I think he's done so for the last 2 seasons now. So I'm intrigued to see whether he does it again, but this time with his teammate and his old truck in front of him. I'm not sure whether he wants to go for that. Let's see what René does. He keeps the truck in the middle of the road. He moves all the way over to the right. He says, no, Norby, you're not going to get through. If you're going to get by, you've got to go the long way around, and Norby knows that's not going to work. He tries to find his way through, moves back out to the left-hand side. This is going to be a run to the line, I'm pretty sure. Is Norby going to try the cutback underneath him? He's managed to get his nose down the inside, completely side by side as they run round the final corner. Now the road may go to the right here, but in just a moment it goes to the left. Either way, I think Norbert Kish is going to do it. It's going to be a photo finish to the line, and I think it's just going to be Norbert Kish over the line, and it is by 10,000ths of a second. What a fantastic finish to the race here in the Slovakia Ring. That was absolutely outstanding. Wow, he kept it tight till the end there, did Norbert Kish. And he got it done right at the flag. He tried the cutback underneath René Reinert, and he made it work. What a fantastic defensive drive from René all the way through, though. Just let it slip in those last moments. But if there was ever any doubt, or if there was ever any question of Norbert Kisch's brilliance with the performances he puts in, that shows you that he can make it work under immense amounts of pressure. One more corner to do the job, and he did it. Norbert Kisch takes his 5th race win of the season by the smallest of margins I think I've ever seen him win by. René Reinert in 2nd place will still be very pleased, if only to come 2nd to his teammate. And Steffi Halm scores another podium in the 2026 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. But 10,000ths of a second. And I quote a good friend and colleague of mine, Dara Thacker, who I commentate with very regularly, that it only takes half a tenth of a second, that's 50,000ths of a second, to close your eyes, even when you blink. So it only takes half a tenth of a second. So yeah, a fifth of that time is how much Norby won by. That is incredible. Mark Taylor takes his 2nd Chrome victory of the day. Such a great return to form for him. Stefan Faas, as always, going well round here at the Slovakia ring. I did say to him earlier in the weekend that he goes well round here. He told me not to tell anybody. And John Newell in 3rd place. He's still doing good things in the Chrome Championship. I'm not 100% sure if he'll hold the lead, but I will confirm that for you very, very soon when we get the chance. What a fantastic race that was, though, and an interesting one to debrief from. So much to think about now as we head into the evening and recuperate for tomorrow. But this is a good thing to have a look at. For those of you that have never seen a truck drift, that is how it's done. Norbert Kisch, the master of truck control. And these drivers love drifting these things around. They do a really, really good job of it as well. But Norbert Kisch wins race 2 at the Slovakia ring by 10,000ths of a second on the very final lap of the race. René Reinert 2nd place, his teammate, with Steffi Halm in 3rd position. Antonio Albacete finishing in 4th for some more good championship points. Mark Taylor takes his 2nd win in Chrome ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, then Sasha Lenz. Stefan Faas inside the top 8 ahead of John Newell, and Luke Garrett gets a top 10 as well. That is a performance that cannot be overlooked. Louis Requenco finishes in 11th place ahead of Clemens Hecker, while we had, unfortunately, Jochen Hahn out of the race and a non-start for Bradley Smith in this 2nd encounter of the day. And this is how the championship will look then. Norbert Kisch on 76 points now ahead of Jochen Hahn and Sasha Lenz. I'll have to see about the incident between him and Mark, though, whether that changes anything a little bit later. Antonio Albacete in 4th position with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez now 5th. He's now clear of Lucas Hahn, who isn't here this weekend. Steffi Halm 7th ahead of René Reinert, Mark Taylor and John Newell, who complete the 10. We then have Stefan Kirsch 11th ahead of Stefan Faas. Bradley Smith in 13th. Jonathan Andre and Luke Garrett complete the 15 drivers who have scored points so far this season. Now we will head into the pit lane and we will have a shot of the drivers making their way in. René Reinert finishing in 2nd place, only just in that race though. Goodness me, it was close. 10,000ths of a second away from his 1st race win of the season. But a solid performance all the same. Consider that he started the day with a broken gearbox and wasn't out in the qualifying session. That's a hell of a turnaround, isn't it? To finish 2nd in race 2. Steffi Halm finished in 3rd position in that race, and she will be happy and celebrate with the team. But there is Norbert Kisch. He cannot believe that one. Right at the end, he got the job done and he celebrates with the team. A very, very happy Norbert Kisch. And handshakes for everyone on the team. They are such a well-oiled unit. Hugs for the team from Steffi Halm. She did such a great job in that race, really, really close to the front. And René Reinert in second. Let's see what his reaction is like when he speaks to Norbert Kiss, shall we? He's so close. But like I said, considering that they started the day with a broken gearbox, they did so well to have the recovery drive in race 1 and then make the most of that to be right up there in the front of the field in race 2. But I'm really excited to see what he says to Norbert Kiss, or how they communicate after this one. Norby makes his way over, and there is the moment. The two teammates both smiling about it, of course. René will be gutted not to have that race win, but Norby did a great job to make that move work in the final corner. And the two of them, I'm sure, will be talking about that one for a long time to come, as will we, and as will Louise, who has made her way down there to speak to the top two, I think, or maybe even René. I don't know. We'll hand down to Louise. She knows what she's doing.
There we go. René, what a nail biter that was. How are you feeling?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure at the moment. Yeah, for sure. The second place is good, but so close.
So you held that pole position for such a long time.
Yes. Yeah, it was last corner.
That's it. But it was so close. But considering you had a problem with your gearbox, I mean, to come out like that is amazing.
Gearbox was okay.
Yeah.
Well, the track was perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Between was also good. Some laps was good, but then I make some small mistakes because you're all the time fighting against your head, If you start thinking too much, and then it's difficult. But yeah, at the end, Norby, what he can do with his truck is not normal, and so he deserved the win, and it's okay.
Well, honestly, deserved. Honestly, you did so well, and it's just getting us all excited for race 3 and 4 tomorrow. So
yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, René. Thank you. There we go. A little bit of a highlight there. What a nail-biting race that really was. So I'm gonna head back to some highlights now with Jazz.
Thank you very much, Louise. What a fantastic race 2 that was here at the Slovakia ring. We had René Reinert starting on pole position with Steffi Halm alongside him, and lots of drivers in with a shout of a victory behind, namely though Norbert Kiss starting from 8th on the grid. He made some ground in the early laps, overtaking Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Jochen Hahn. But René stayed out in front with Steffi Halm in 2nd position and Antonio Albacete in 3rd. Norbert Kiss quickly made his way up to 4th, passing Sasha Lenz and then Mark Taylor, who had a little bit of drama later on in the race, as you will see in just a moment. But as he went down the inside of Antonio Albacete to try and make the move, he managed to get it done on the exit and cleanly be through before turn number 9. A little bit of bodywork was hanging off the front of Norby's truck, but not for long as he continued to make his way forward. Lovely move down the inside of Steffi Halm here at turn 3, leading into turns 4 and 5. He got that one done nice and tidy. Nice and cleanly, you could say, on the 100% renewable HVO diesel that we run on. Then he set his sights on René Reinert, and for the last couple of laps, it was a nail-biter as he tried manoeuvre after manoeuvre on his teammate. It was a great race, lap after lap. There was barely a moment where he was more than a truck length behind him. Tried it round the outside into turns 5 and 6, but no. Tried it round the outside into the final corner, but then this delightful cutback as he got underneath him in the final corner, slightly rubbed panels, gave us one of the most exciting finishes we've seen to a race in recent years. A photo finish as they ran to the line. 10,000ths of a second between Norbert Kiss and René Reinert. And now it's time for the podium presentations. We will have, of course, the top 3 from the race overall in 3rd, 2nd, and then 1st. And Steffi Halm gets 3rd position.
And the 2nd.
2nd place to René Reinert. Hearty defence from both of them in that race all the way through. And then listen to the cheer. As they mentioned Norbert Kiss. Norby had to fight for that one, and I'm sure he will absolutely have loved the fact that he had to have that battle. And I'm sure now we will hear the Hungarian national anthem for our winning driver.
Thank you very much. I would like to ask Ms. Marta Kosira.
There we go, then the Hungarian national anthem for our race-winning driver, Norbert Kish. And there the trophies are given out. Second place to René Reinert. Like I say, he'll be happy with the fact that he's on the podium again, especially after having no gearbox in the truck this morning. But it's a difficult one when you know that you are that close to a win. But for the second time this weekend, Norbert Kish takes the race victory here at the Slovakia ring. Now they will pose for pictures on the top step of the podium. Well, they should do. Yep, we've already had the national anthem. It's a different order of doing things here this weekend at the Slovakia ring. Usually it's trophies and then the national anthem. But again, like I say, that's part of the joy of doing these events in different places, is that you always get things in different orders. And now they've had their pictures taken, I think they will do the changing of the caps. Yes. Oh, maybe not. Time for champagne then. Ah, yes. It is time for changing the caps. They got ahead of themselves. See, I know the order. But Norbert Kish, Steffi Hallman, René Reinert, your top three in race number 2 at the Slovakia ring in 2026. And now it's time for champagne. And because it's the second race of the day, I'm sure they're going to absolutely drench each other, because that's what they do in race number 2. René is, I mean, he looks like he's on a warpath to soak both of the other drivers. They just want to soak the fans. Fantastic stuff. René absolutely loving the moment, and oh dearie me, now it's going down Norby's back. Fantastic stuff. He loves it, really. Oh, it's all fun and games. All fun and games. The two teammates enjoying their time together on the podium. And a big swig of champagne for René Reinert. A very deserved one as well. They've got to have good fun, and they certainly do. Norby is absolutely drenched, as is our cameraman. And now it's time to get the next bottles of champagne ready. There's Pearly, our cameraman, bless him, cleaning the camera. And here we go then, our chrome podium. John Newell, third place. Second place for Stefan Faas in the Freightliner, going very well around here. As you can see, he's really happy with that, maybe a bit relieved. And Mark Taylor takes his second win in class of the season. The reigning Chrome champion will be delighted to be back up on the top step again.
Okay, thank you very much. And
there we go, the British national anthem.
The trophy is handed by Marek Miko, Executive Director of Slovakia.
And now the trophies will be handed out one by one. John Newell for third position.
And John Newell. So this is the second one, I think.
Second place going to Stefan Faas. And as you can see, it's great to see a smile on Stefan Faas's face again. He's had a difficult couple of seasons. And I think the guy means Mark Taylor. The announcer saying John Newell there. John would have been really happy to take the race-winning trophy.
Okay, so here are three best drivers, Chrome classification at Slovakia ring.
And there you go, the top three on the top step together. Big smiles on all their faces. A lot of hard work went on today, and they managed to make it work in the end. And now it's time for champagne, and I imagine John is going to soak Mark here, if not all the fans. There you go. Lovely stuff. Not quite the drenching we saw for Norbert Kish earlier, but I think these guys want to go and have a drink actually this evening. Fantastic stuff. And there, John's little lad gets his trophy. Oh, he's promised people hats and all sorts. Everybody wants a hat. And John promised somebody over there, he said, that he would get a cap. You've got to love that. But they are like gold dust, those Goodyear caps. I definitely don't have 4 of them at home. But now it's the teams. And we're going to go back down for another interview because we had a nail-biting finish there with Norbert Kish and René Reinert, and Louise is standing by now.
Norbert, oh my goodness, that end there, how was that for you? You and René were neck and neck.
Yeah, not bad. Very exciting, and I think René did an excellent job in the last 3 laps or so when I was there, and I was kind of already gave up in the last lap that I cannot do it. But again in the chicane I could come close again, and I could force him to defend. In a very unusual manner into the last turn, and then he missed the apex a little bit, so it opened up for me. I put my nose in, and then I tried to have the best exit, that I can. And in the beginning, I was a bit in the front, and then as we went to the left into the start-finish straight, he catch up, and I see him in the mirror coming. I'm like, oh, please. So yeah, it was like really nice. I think for sure the closest finish in track racing history.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So I haven't seen for sure in my career for sure. So it's really nice. I'm really happy that it turned out this way. I'm a bit sorry for René, because he really would have deserved it, And if he comes in front, with this 100th of a second or something, then I'm fine, and I'm very happy with second place. But I'm happy for the win because I think it was very exciting and good race.
It was so exciting. We were all watching, going, oh, it was happening. So yeah, I mean, look, we've got race 3 and 4 tomorrow. So it could. Hey, you have to watch him now, won't you?
Yeah. I will try. I hope from the inside.
Yeah, that's it. Norby, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Cheers. All right, now we're going to also have a chat with Mark Taylor as well, who was the winner in Chrome. I think he's just coming down from the podium now. Oh, here he is. Sorry, Mark. There you are. Come on in. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good. Had a good race. The day's just been brilliant. It's been good for us. We did have problems yesterday with the truck, and they were slow, not on the pace, but some things worked with the team this morning. It's all come together. We had a good qualify.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good first race, and the end of the day, it was brilliant.
How are you feeling about race 3 and 4 tomorrow?
If it's gone out today, it'll be brilliant. So looking forward to it.
Oh, well, congratulations as well. What are you going to do to celebrate? Are you going to have a chill one, or?
Hey, be chill out now. Let the mechanics and the team all sort the truck out, and we'll get ready for tomorrow.
Hey, that's the way, Mark. Well, congratulations, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you. Okay, now we have some Chrome standings here coming up for you.
Thank you very much, Louise. Let's have a look at the Chrome Championship standings then. John Newell still at the top. Don't forget you score less points in race 2 than you do in race 1. So John's still at the top by 6 points now from Mark Taylor. Lucas Hahn down to 3rd. Considering he's still not here, that shows you how well he did in the first race weekend. Stefan Faas in 4th place on 50 points with Stefan Kirsch in 5th. Then we have Bradley Smith and Luke Garrett with Jonathan Andre on 22 points. Clemens Hecker on just 20 with Louis Requenco getting 16 points so far in his first weekend of the season.
We'll come back to you, Louise, and introduce some predictions of the day.
There we go. It's been a fantastic race. What a nail-biting finish that really was. It's been absolutely brilliant. It's got me very much hyped for tomorrow, and I'm sure all of you guys are as well. Now, you're going to be able to catch the live broadcast tomorrow at 1:10, but we're going to leave you now with a few of the best of pictures.